I hereby call this board meeting of the Board of Trustees of Grand Island School District to order. Let the record show that this meeting has been duly posted as the time and place is required by Texas law. Also, let the record show that a quorum of board members is present here, with only Dr. Butcher being absent. At this point, Reverend Brown, would you please give us our invocation?
Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we just thank you for, first of all, for waking us up this morning. And then, Father, allowing us to go back day. And then, Father, we thank you that you have brought us together this afternoon for the business of Grand GISD. And Father, we pray that whatever decisions are being made are not only pleasing in your sight, but for the betterment of our entire district. Father, this we ask in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen. Thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
While I'm rushing the meeting along, and all of us have something to eat in front of us. We can go ahead and do that. I don't think I gotta I don't think I've got to tell you that, but let's go ahead and eat. Now, we have our first item of business is to consider the approval of K-5 STEM indoor activity area.
Yes, Madam President, this is an item that was brought to you before regarding the K-5 STEM area, what is called our STEM gym, and Mr. Shores will just speak briefly on what that is once it gets updated.
Yes, as we spoke before, this is a purchase over $50,000, so it needs to come to the board. We're using the purchasing method of a purchasing cooperative, and we reached out to several companies, and we administratively decided on Mooring USA at a $253,000 bid. That went up from our original estimate when we were talking about just doing the covered play area and so forth, $103,000 because we had to do brick on the sides, and we had to change the foundation to make it more sturdy. We're also asking for a $50,000 contingency, which makes it a $268,000 total. And the administration would recommend the approval of this purchase.
Is it your request as last time that we hear all items before moving forward with the motion? Okay.
The decision was to go with Mooring on this one. Was that the lowest bid?
Yes, Mooring was the lowest bid.
Next item is, and what we're going to do is go through each of the items on it before we take a vote on it. Next item, consider approval of K-5 STEM audio visual equipment, projector screen and sound system.
That is correct. It's $128,696 from TFE Connect for all audio visual equipment, projection screen, and sound system technology.
And the next are B through F, B through E, all of the technology items that we're about to discuss. Are they part of that purchasing agreement that we have with CDW?
CDW is one of the companies. They're one of four on those items you just mentioned, and yes, they are.
Okay.
that's one of 4 companies that.
These next 4 items are not CDW, just one of those are TFE and NCS and ESST or the first 3. The next to last one you mentioned there was the CDW.
Yes,
Okay,
they are
there's
all-
4 items. Yes, the answer. So TFE was the one we just discussed. The next one on that list happens to be for the network cabling that's required for technology, $51,644.78, and that is from NCS. The next item, if I may, is from ESST in the amount of $87,465.51. That is simply for the video surveillance and the access controls. And then the last item of the technology items is $141,510.40 from CDW, and that's classroom technology, wireless infrastructure, etc. Shannon can speak to you more in depth if you have any questions.
I think all that I'm trying to ask is, I understand we have a purchasing agreement that we would need to go outside competition for that one item. So on the remaining items, we did compete the effort.
Without a doubt. Yes, ma'am. And the last item, if I may, while I'm here, is simply the furniture. And that is not to exceed $200,000 from Lone Star Furniture for all the classroom furniture, office furniture, nurse, cafeteria, etc.
It says we're going with innovative furniture. Is this the same furniture that we used at Lamar, or excuse me, Crockett,
Bowie,
and Bowie?
specifically the template was Bowie, but yes, it's innovative. I'm not versed on the technology, but it allows more data port access, USB connectivity. It's top of the line STEM furniture.
Right. But it's the same stuff we used at Bowie.
Yes,
Is it the same we used at Travis and Crockett?
I believe the answer is yes. Lone Star Furniture supplied like $1.5 million in stuff from all those guys.
Well, when we had these items considered before, one of the questions that was asked was what impact will these things have on our fund balance? And I noticed we've got here, can you go over this,
Well, I don't have it in front of me, but I can certainly say that your fund balance started off with $11.5 million. Now, if we add the $750,000 originally from the cost of the building, that was in a prior year. So if you look at the top of that sheet, that would have been our fund balance, the very top number, had we not bought that building. But we purchased that building, and out of that building, the cost came from fund balance. So that left us at the end of August of 16, $11.3 million. Now, we go forward with all of these items, you will continue to detract from fund balance to the total of $3.4 million, which would take us from 11.3 to about 7.8.
So, one of the questions that I've continued to have is, and first of all, thank you for this information in one location. One of the questions I continue to have though is if we go forward and we approve all of this, when we look at what if scenarios and the probability of where we think we're going to be as far as budget next year, with taking into account being able to give teacher raises and the things that we need to be able to do, where are we at? If we approve these things, where are we at considering all that's involved?
If I may answer that, Mr. Source, none of those items first will come out of fund balance, so that it's a different account. It's our general fund that those other funds will come out of. And as we project where we're going to be, we still will be on track to have a balanced budget and be on track to possibly contribute to the fund balance in the following year as well, to bring that to gradually bring that number back up to to a higher amount.
So just to make sure I understand, we are on track to have a balanced budget, to have an additional surplus to go back into the fund balance to replace some of this and take care of teacher raises.
For the 2017-18 school year, that would be the case, yes. And then at the end of that school year, that would be a balanced budget with an amount to go back into the fund balance as well, more than likely, yes.
In just rough numbers, what is 3 months of normal operating expenses?
About $3.5 million a month. You are sitting currently, have we not had any of the STEM expenses, you are roughly at the mark of the 3. So 11.4, 11.5 is that 3 months times 3, that month times 3. You spend about $3.5 a month.
Which is the recommendation, right? For a fund.
That's the allowable. You can have more, but the minimum that anybody running the company would want would be 3. Your current fund balance, as it sits now, the 11 number, has been reserved years ago at $2 million. It's been sitting there for a while. So as a board, y'all have discussed the reservation of that for items just like this.
And it is at this point, we are at a point where today we have a much larger fund balance. TDA looks at that as if we are not doing what we should be doing, is that correct?
There are several schools of thought, it's my opinion, that they can return that to them. But they do it in the term of a short fund. Instead of getting all your state aid, they settle up in September and they just sell you short. They don't send all that you had been allocated. Now, does that happen? And would that happen to us at $11 million fund balance? No. Could they? Yes.
TDA ultimately wants to see that we're making great efforts to spend our funds on children.
Without a doubt.
And not necessarily trying to save as much money as we can. So they do allow 3 months of well, you can have ideal scenarios to have 3 months just in case, God forbid, something happens and for 3 months of an emergency fund. However, once you get that and continue to grow that, TA kind of frowns upon the fact that, well, why are we not spending the funds that you receive on children on an annual basis?
So for me, hearing that we are going to continue to be at a healthy fund balance, that we are still planning on making sure that we're taking care of our teachers, we're still going to have a balanced budget. All items that we're discussing today have been competed, and we're going with best value in all cases. I'm okay to move forward with all the items we have today.
Madam President, I feel like I need to clear up maybe a misconception from what I said the last board meeting. It may have come across like I believe pre-K is a better use of our funds than STEM, which I don't necessarily believe that. I don't, I leave that up to the educators try to, but it may have come across like that. What I was saying is I never heard why we changed from one direction, flipped around to a different direction. And thinking about that, it's probably unfair to hold the current administration responsible to explain that. The only person that can say why we switched is no longer here. So to keep Dr. Liggins from having to try to explain something that he probably has no clue why we did what we did. As far as he's concerned, it's probably because the board wanted it, because we always voted for it. So since I don't think it's fair to hold that hostage for an explanation of why something happened when there's no one left to explain that, I'm no longer have a problem. Probably will be switching my votes to yes on everything but the indoor activity center. And that's why. Just wanted to explain that.
Okay, thank you for that information, but I think that, and I think I know what you're talking about in the switch. I'm not sure that it was a total switch as it was an evolution of the needs for the district. Hopefully, that's what did, and hopefully, because we did approve all of those items. We approved the K through 5 STEM Academy, and we also have a rigorous pre-K. We have that rigorous pre-K application for our district. I think both are important. I think that was the reason that we as a board voted to have that pre-K in the first place, in that they were both in the best interest of the students that we have here, and would give all of our students a shot at being a part of what essentially is science, technology, engineering, and math is, hey, the way that things are going in school today. There were some of us that did that way back in the dark ages, but any other
I
questions?
just want to echo Leslie's thanks for this great information. It's very helpful to see it all in one place. And I think the board is partially responsible for not really putting our feet down much firmer and requiring this information earlier in the process. So I take on responsibility for not being much more vehement about that earlier. So I'm hopeful and I'm optimistic that anytime we decide to consider expending funds from the general fund in the future, that this is what we would hope to see laid out for us from day one. And I know that this was a rapidly developing project and we had to jump on the opportunity to purchase the property quickly and all of that. So I think that we may have come across as pointing some fingers and casting blame previously, but I think there's plenty of it to go around. We're moving forward in a really healthy fashion right now. So I do feel comfortable and confident in what I see on the paper today. So thank you for that.
Okay. Any other comments? Thank you. Now, I think that since I don't believe we have to approve each item and vote on each item. I think that we could go with A, B, C, D, E, and F and vote on those items except.
Yeah, I want to go on one.
Okay.
Probably the fund balance.
Okay, all right. Probably what?
Fund balance issue.
Okay.
I think we should do them individually.
Individual.
That's the way they're listed. We should one individually and do our vote based on individuals.
We will do it that way. We will do it that way. And let's begin with the first item to take action on is consider approval of the K through 5 STEM indoor activity area. We have had the explanation and the cost. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Stafford. We have a motion and a second to approve a total of $268,000 from More USA for our K-5 STEM indoor activity area. Is there any discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Motion passes by a vote of 5-1. Next item on our agenda is to consider approval of the K-5 STEM audio visual equipment, projection screen, and sound system. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Is there a second? Thank you, Ms. Adele. We have a motion and a second to approve the purchase of, from TFE Connect for the audio visual equipment, projection screen, and sound system technology at a cost of $128,696. Is there any discussion? There being none, all in favor? Motion passes unanimously. Next item, consider approval of the K-5 STEM network cabling. Do we have a motion? Thank you, Ms. Stafford. Is there a second? Thank you, Ms. Overstreet. We have a motion and a second to approve the purchase of network cabling system for our K-5 STEM elementary school at $51,644.78. All in favor? Motion passes unanimously by those persons present. Next item on our agenda is D, for the STEM video surveillance and access control system. Do you have a motion? Thank you, Ms. Overstreet. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Adele. Is there any discussion?
I just have one quick question. Did we, were we able to work with the contractor in order to get them to delay putting those ceiling tiles up?
They have delayed, up until a certain amount of time, so we should be good to move forward. I've checked with all the people that we went out for bid and talked with them, and they said that those numbers are still good for us, so we should be good to move
So
on.
no future cost impact?
No, if we can get moving on them this week, which they're, like I said, they've been waiting to do that, we should be good to move forward and get them out there, so.
There is no discussion. All in favor? Motion passes unanimously by those persons present. Next item on our agenda is consider approval of the K-5 STEM classroom technology at a cost of $141,510.40. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Do we have a second? Thank you, Ms. Stafford. Is there any discussion? Yeah, I have one question, Jennifer, for that classroom technology. Can you tell me again what that actually is?
Sure.
So our classroom technology is going to cover, it's kind of part infrastructure as well as the actual items. So we're talking now TFE, the audio visual, that is all of our projectors, document cameras, all the cabling associated with that. It's also, that is all connected in with the intercom system too. So they're doing quite a bit underneath that. This part of it is actually, it's mostly our wireless infrastructure is where the bulk of that cost is coming in. That is, like I had mentioned before, whenever we did this data center here, I guess probably a year and a half, 2 years ago, we started moving towards Cisco instead of our HP wireless. So this would be another, I guess, phase 2 of that. As we're moving away from HP, we don't want to continue putting HP products out there, so we're doing Cisco. Now, as far as in the classroom itself, what a teacher would see if they walked in, they're going to come in and have their normal teacher machine, monitors. They're going to have a class set of Chromebooks, K5, as well as the science area. There's going to also have Chromebooks in there, as well as a few iPads for like centers of iPads. So, and then that way they have kind of a variation of a mix and match of other devices if they wanted that they could bring in and use with either the Chromebooks or the iPads.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the purchase of CDW for at the cost of $141,510.40 for a classroom technology. Is there any other discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously by those persons present. Next item on our agenda is for the classroom furniture from Lone Star Furnishings. And we don't know the exact price, right? All we know is that it is not to exceed $200,000.
That is correct.
Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, and I'd also like to clarify, although it states classroom furniture, that is building furniture in general. That's cafeteria tables, that's teacher desks, the reception, the secretary's desk, everything, any piece of furniture in the building.
Okay. And we can do that for under $200,000.
Yes.
Are the classrooms also including the work cabinetry, things like that?
That's first.
No, that's included in what Art Cock is doing.
Thank you.
They're putting all the cubbyhole cubbies and shelving and stuff.
That's a different line.
Yes.
Okay, we have a request to approve the purchase of classroom furniture for the K-5 STEM school from Lone Star Furnishings, not to exceed $200,000. Do I have a motion? We have a motion, is there a second? Thank you, Ms. Liddell, thank you, Ms. Stafford. Is there any further discussion? All in favor? Motion passes unanimously by those persons present. I'd like to thank you guys for getting this information to us once again, so that we are clear on what it is we actually are approving. Do we need to have a closed session? We do, okay. So at this time, we're going to go into closed session, and it is 12:31.